I have taken my van on so many great trips over the past 2 years, but all of the different roads, environments, and miles have definitely taken their toll in multiple ways. Now that I'm home for a couple of months, my goal is to take this time to get the van in great shape before this summer, when I will head out on my longest trip yet. So firstly, and most importantly, I need new brakes. I know this because not only does the front end of the van make a lovely crunchy noise when I skid to a stop, but also because I keep a record of every service that I get done to the van. And the last time I went to the mechanic, I had my rear brakes done, and he mentioned to me that I should probably have the front ones done at around 190,000 miles. And honestly, he was being optimistic. But before I can even head over to the mechanic, I have to address my insanely flat tire. This tire has had a slow leak in it for a few months now, but it became impossible to ignore after my recent trip to Florida. So I'll have the shop take a look at that too. Just made it back to the garage because my van is ready to pick up, so let's go grab the keys. So not only did I get my brakes done, but the shop also suggested that I get the left front tie rod on this wheel replaced. So I did that, and it took my grand total to about $1,600. Ouch. And the pain does not stop there, because then I had to take it to this place where I am now to check out the tire issue, because the other place did not have the right equipment. And this place really kind of gave it a good look and let me know that there is a couple of longer term repairs that I have coming up that I'm going to want to take care of. So in addition to fixing the tire, which actually had 2 nails in it, I also got some other things taken care of, mainly replacing the serpentine belt and idler pulleys, and replacing some transmission fluid and the filter. So that makes my grand total about $2,700. And then even after that, I still have a lot of other kind of big ticket items to take care of eventually. I wish I could do more of this stuff myself. Eventually I would like to. It's not super interesting to necessarily talk about, but I do like to mention it because I feel like a lot of channels gloss over the fact that there will be necessary repairs that eventually happen, and they might be kind of expensive. But for now, the mechanical stuff is taken care of, and I can take a look at fixing up the inside of the van. Okay, so I kind of predicted this was gonna happen back when I was first building my bed, but when I recently returned from my trip to Everglades National Park, I discovered something very disturbing. So I took out the mattress, and underneath I found this mold. Part of the problem is that I didn't put enough holes here in the plywood bed base to ensure that there's enough airflow. You can kind of see how the mold has really concentrated around the areas where I didn't put any holes. But in general, moisture can definitely build up inside of the van no matter what, especially in a place like the Everglades. So I'm going to replace those panels with a couple more holes in them this time. while since I got to take out my power tools. All right, let's make some Swiss cheese. This time, I'm also going to paint the panels, just so they have a bit of a barrier protecting the surface. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. I'm using some leftover paint, but I really hope this will be enough, because I don't want to have to go out and buy any more. This paint can basically had just enough left in it to cover both of the panels, so I'm gonna let that dry and put them back in the van. Well, those look pretty nice, but it's not time to put the mattress back on yet because I still have a couple more things to do that involve tearing the van apart even further. This countertop was built frantically on the day that I left for my first ever trip across the country in this van, so it's not necessarily the most well constructed, but it has served me very well. But I think it's time for a slight upgrade. So the main reason I'm replacing this is, well, two things really. First of all, the shape. This little notch that I cut out there was supposed to accommodate for one of the ribs in the van wall, but totally missed. It is not the right shape. And second of all, you can tell I tried to seal this countertop a little bit at the time, but didn't do a very good job. And so it's not exactly super water or scratch resistant, and it's just looking a little rough. So now that I have the time, I figured I would go ahead and do it right. Okay, I have this all positioned how I want it. Now I'm gonna try to mark this notch again. I really don't want to f it up twice, so I'm gonna keep checking it. Here goes nothing. Okay, all right. It works. Thank God I cut it correctly. But this already feels like an improvement. I've kind of extended the counter so it has a bit of an overhang both on this side and this side, just by a tiny bit, but this is basically like my primary living space in here, so it makes a big difference. But now I'm gonna stain it and seal it, and then I can install it. This isn't the right color stain. It was golden pecan, not golden oak. Fuck. I don't know what to do. After regaining my will to live, getting the right color stain at the hardware store, and cutting out another countertop, I was finally able to get to staining. So I have the correct stain on here now, and I'm inside. I'm in my basement because it's dark out and it's supposed to rain, but I am finally on the last step, which is also basically the most important, which is adding at least 2 coats, probably 3, of this urethane so I can seal in the countertop, make it waterproof and nice and durable. Dude, I'm so sick of f***ing up. This is the wrong spar urethane. It's water-based, I need oil-based. However, I do have this. I bought this because I thought it would be easier to apply. And then I was like, I don't want to try anything new on this countertop that I'm trying to do up right, and now it's just gone all out the window. And I need to open the door in here before I accidentally inhale more urethane fumes. I have emptied the can, so now I'm just gonna wait for that to dry and I can reinstall the countertop. Well, it was fun to pick up my tools again. It's been a while, but now that all the construction is done, I just have a couple more final details to address. But before I get to that, I can't resist taking the van out for just one quick trip until then. So today, I'm headed to upstate New York to watch the solar eclipse with some friends. We have just arrived here at the campsite where we are going to view the solar eclipse from. So we're just trying to get everything set up and get our glasses on and watch it happen. Let's see how what the progress is. Wow.
Just like the ancients.
Exactly. Ah.
It's crazy how bright it still is.
It's insane. I mean, like the quote-unquote lenses are like black.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Feels like Twilight. And like all the birds starting. It's just about to happen.
Like how little the sun is left.
Yeah, it's just it's tiny, but it's still.
I can see some stars.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Just for a second, don't stare at it. I think you can't see anything anymore through the glasses. There's nothing there.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's
Look, it's coming back.
Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. Let there be light.
Seeing the eclipse was incredible, and I can't recommend enough to try and see one the next time it happens. It was just a bucket list item I didn't even know that I had, but after that once-in-a-lifetime experience, it was time to get back to work. One of the first things that I did when I got this van was get this little Bluetooth cigarette lighter radio transmitter so that I could listen to like Spotify and stuff on my phone while in the car. Because this is really a work van, it doesn't exactly come with all of the interior amenities that your typical passenger car would have. And for a while that totally worked well enough, but over time it has seemingly gotten quieter and quieter to the point where I can't even hear music properly if the radio is turned up all the way. And it also kind of picks up kind of a lot of interference and static because it is going through the radio. So I figure maybe it was time for an upgrade because I'm about to spend a lot of time driving in this van this summer. So I bought this, which is a CarPlay / Bluetooth enabled stereo unit, which will allow me to directly connect my phone to the speakers without having to use the radio. So I ordered this online from a company called Crutchfield Electronics. Hadn't heard of them, but they just seem to be like all car stereo audio kind of accessory stuff. And especially appealing to me was the fact that they offered a pre-wiring service. So I went ahead and paid for that. I think it was like $25. And, you know, even though I own wire crimpers and technically know how to do all that stuff, I just figured there are so many wires in here, and if it minimizes my chances of f***ing it up, that is well worth the money. But before I can install the new stereo, I need to remove the old one. So it's time to take apart this dashboard. I didn't realize this was gonna involve gymnastics. One good thing is that I also got a guide on how to take apart the whole dash assembly, but unfortunately that doesn't make it any less of a pain in the ass, so I'm glad that is finally off. You can't take it off completely, but I have enough room to access the radio, and I'll take that one out and replace it with the new one. So this is the pre-wire harness. Here's like the little diagram I have with instructions. It seems like it should be pretty straightforward. 2 plugs here, 2 plugs there. Let's give it a shot. Yes! Okay! This is gonna be sick. Oh, hell yeah. Alright, let's pop this back in. So that is the final result. It was definitely worth it, but the dash disassembly was annoying, but not impossible, but annoying. So I don't want to do that again anytime soon, but I definitely feel more comfortable doing so, which means that like maybe in the future I could add something like an aftermarket cruise control to the steering column area, and even more things that like make it a little bit more comfortable as a passenger-y type vehicle rather than the work one that it was designed to be. But for now, I will definitely enjoy this small improvement that will make a big difference on those long driving days. I also wanted to point out that after 2 years, I have finally decided to replace my lovingly made, but only partially functional window covers. So I found these much more properly manufactured window covers from VanCamp. I have them for the side and back doors. They make these for all different kinds of vehicles, not just the Chevy Express. They were a little bit pricey, but in my opinion, very worth it. They make a big difference compared to the less than ideal scenario that I had before, so. Not only are they a perfect fit, but they also fold up really nicely so that I can store them very easily behind the driver's seat. The last thing I need to do is really just give everything a good clean, but other than that, I'm ready to get back on the road. There are still 2 months left until I leave for my biggest trip yet this summer, but I'm already really excited for what's coming up, and I can't wait to show you where I'm going next.